Hello everybody, Happy New Year. If this goes out the 1st of January, great. If not, then surprise. But I hope you all had a good Christmas. It's time for reflection now with the vlogs from 2022. Here is a selection of some clips from 10 vlogs that were done this year. I did 11 in total, but I don't include the resolutions usually. Some interesting clips, some interesting stories. Let's get into it, and welcome to the best of the vlogs of 2022. This year's got quite a mix of different types of styles of vlog. Wanted to mix it up a little bit this year, and I have managed to do that. The first two are based on museums and exhibitions. One is a visit to the David Livingstone Birthplace Museum, which I did in August last year, and one was to the Harryhausen exhibition, which was in February this year in Edinburgh. Here's a clip from each. These tableaus that we're looking at now were they're in the museum in a different place before, and basically they're all against the one wall, and you used to press the button and it will light up and show these displays. So it's nice they've still kept them, but they're now properly fully lit in this area, and they show Livingstone's life as a lone explorer, which isn't strictly true, but that's what they're supposed to represent. They're beautiful tableaus. Certainly worth their place in the museum. When you go upstairs, he concentrates more on his major animation projects, including his Mother Goose Tales and his work for Hammer Horror and the Sinbad movies and 1 Million Years BC, and all the culmination of all those films and all the animation techniques that are developed over time until you get to Clash of the Titans, which is his last ever animated project that he was involved in 1981. And by that time the special effects had changed to another generation off the back of Star Wars and how things could be done, and his practical animated effects were no longer as relevant as they used to be. So the exhibition up the stairs is more about his success with the Sinbad movies and all the films that happened in between and after, and all the folklore and the ancient legends that he played on, including some models of Pegasus, Medusa and other creatures that he used, and either full-size, half-size, smaller models that he used throughout the films of that era of the 60s and 70s, and a lot of storyboards there as well. What was interesting about the Harryhausen exhibition especially is there's a smaller bronze model of the statue that is sitting outside the David Livingstone Birthplace Memorial of David Livingstone getting mauled by the tiger, or the lion rather, not tiger. This is Africa we're talking about. Mauled by the lion. And the big version is in Blantyre, but there was a smaller version which Harryhausen designed in the display cases in the exhibition. So if you want to check that out and have a look at that, and look at the link between the two, the links to all the videos and all the vlogs mentioned here are down below. There was one instance this year where I managed to get more than just me on camera, and that's with my friend Andy. Now, he asked me to come up with him to Kirua, near in the Highlands, and go on a day trip. So it's a train up there, takes a few hours, and then a train back. So here's a wee clip from our little trip out there. So where's this again, Andy?
This is Loch Ossian.
Loch Ossian.
So this
right.
is the Loch Ossian Youth Hospital behind us. Well,
right.
You probably can't see it in the photo, in the video.
I'll put a cutaway, don't worry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you were saying last year when COVID was happening, they were kind of...
Yeah, it's just like if you were wanting to stay at the hostel, you would have to hire the entire hostel out. But it is quite a small hostel. So
it's a small hostel, yeah. It's kind of like a kind of... it seems to me like a kind of Edwardian bothy sort of design to it, you know, it's kind of small. The ladies, the owners here at the moment, she asked us to go and have a look at a loon, but they were a coon or a loon, and it wasn't there, so... Oh well, I'm not a bird spotter anyway, so I probably wouldn't know what it was anyway, even if I wanted to. I know there's geese, I know there's ducks, but that's about as far as my ornithological knowledge goes. Thank you. I'm usually the one that gets my word tongue-tied, as you noticed, but there we are. So this year there has been a couple of castle vlogs, and there's one historical site of importance which I'll mention later on, which I think is probably one of my favourite ones of the year, and I'll get to that in a minute because it does relate to my reenactment stuff. But there was two other castle vlogs this year, or what you could class proper castle vlogs. One of them was to Edzell Castle, which is in Angus. That was recorded in August last year. And one finishes off and ticks off a box of a vlog that I've been wanting to complete for 4.5 years. I finally got back to Dirleton, and yes, here's some clips from each of them. We can get up these steps though. Before I do that, it wouldn't be an HES site without one of these. I've been giggling away to myself when I've been doing my edits of the vlogs from Border Abbeys about stones. And of course, what did we find again? A stone room. As I've said before in the vlogs, HES has the largest collection of stoneworks in Europe. Ooh, we do have a bird in here. It's a nest up there, look at that. Interesting. And steps. I would have went all the way up. Spiral staircase. Keep getting swallows coming attacking me, coming out all sorts of places. They love flying around this place. So Mary Queen of Scots visited here in 1562. When she was doing her royal progress when she first returned to Scotland. Uh-oh. We've grass cutting. That's going to spoil the view. And the sound. The sound's just changed because I've had to put in, because somebody's cutting the grass, I've had to put in the mics to try and minimise the sound. Just a little. That's down those stairs we were just at. And some of the stonemasons, look, there's some graffiti there. PP, AJW, HEP. Interesting. Onto the steps. Up to the castle. So you have here, here's the castle. So your building that's probably 1300s. It's designed style, that's the original part of the building there. The Halliburton's alterations. Which they went into and did work with. And then you've got quite an interesting change, because then you've got the 1500 styles. You can see immediately there's a difference. So you've got there the 1300s and then you've got the 1500s there. And you can see it's quite a marked change. And there would have been some sort of crest or, you know, that's sitting there. This is the Ruthen lodgings. The Ruthen lodgings. The Ruthen lodgings. Let's get that right. There we are. Empty stairwell that's been destroyed. You can see some of the steps going up there. Some of the base blocks have collapsed. That's in here. Ooh. There's more than one level to this. Ooh, what's this? Interesting. Whoa! So let me go down the stairs. Right. This is a well. 7 meters deep. 7 feet, that wouldn't be that deep. 7 meters, quite deep. Here we go. Where are we into now? Looks like some sort of basement or kitchen area. Possibly vaulted room. Yes, lesser hall or kitchen. Quite a small lesser hall if it is a lesser hall, but I suppose you can't really see much here with the lighting as it is, but it's got a vaulted ceiling, look at that. Look at that, that's brilliant. Definitely more an earlier design anyway, 13th century, 14th century. So we have in here the Devoe Castle. Look at the vaults, look at the Gothic architecture here. Another thing that is missing is the plastering, the coving that you're seeing in that picture that goes to the ceiling. That's worn away, but you can see the lines going all the way up to the bottom top. Fabulous vaulted room. Fabulous. Further in. Oh yes, look, more stuff. All steps to go up in a minute. That's a lavvy, latrine. We've got a little miniature private chamber here. Look at the vaulted ceilings in this place. Wow. I like that. Right. So, stairs, let's go. There we are. What a lovely view of the surroundings. Not high enough to see to Talon, which is in that direction. There's North Berwick over there. Then on to the Firth of Forth. The following information disclaimer is through this book here. Gives you an idea of the castle and the basis of it. So, Dirleton Castle has sat on its rocky perch for almost 800 years. For the first 400 years it served as the fortress residence of three noble Scottish families, the Devoes, Halliburtons and Ruthens, who lorded it over the rich and medieval barony of Gillane and Dirleton. The subsequent downfall of the Ruthens, for their plotting against James VI, saw the castle abandoned as a noble residence. The siege by Oliver Cromwell's soldiers in 1650 rendered it militarily unserviceable. Oh, yeah, well, I've heard of that story before. When the Nesbits purchased the Dirleton estate in the 1660s, they built a new mansion house, Archerfield, nearby. The ancient ruined castle thereafter became an eye-catching feature of the new design landscape, lovingly tended by estate gardeners. Today, both castle and gardens at Dirleton are attractions in their own right, two sides of the same coin. Well, I'm seeing only one side today because the other side is kind of something that we can't really see because it is February. So you're seeing the landscaping, but you're not seeing any of the plants or anything that's in with them. So that's one of those things today. But there's certainly a lot of architecture there, and you can see the architecture in this place. It really is fabulous. This year I started something new, a new kind of idea for a vlog, which I haven't really done before, a kind of journey. This one was a challenge I set myself to go from East Kilbride train station all the way through to Glasgow Central train station, but not directly between the two stations. I had to go, the idea was to go via each station along that line and tap into it. The plan was to do it in about 6 hours. Ended up doing about 6.5. Take breaks into an equation. It was not a bad wee journey here, but it nearly fell on its bum near the end. After I got past Crossmaloof station, I got a little lost. I had 3 opportunities to turn into closer to the road I want, and I knew I was parallel to Pollockshaw's Road and not far off it, because I was seeing Maxwell Road and Albert Drive, which I know go to Pollockshaw's Road in the direction I wanted. I seem to have now turned. I'm about to join Pollockshaw's Road and hopefully be able to get up the road, otherwise I might be taking a detour just when my legs don't want it. Oh no! I mean, this was always going to be the awkward bit, the quickest way to get to Glasgow Central from Crossmaloof, because it just feels like it's so long. But I might be okay. I might be alright. There's a turning coming up here which will definitely get into the city centre. I don't recognise it though, so this may be a brand new experience for me actually doing this and going down this route. So yeah, all the excitement of getting close to my end, and I may be taking longer than I need to because I've potentially taken the wrong turn. Oh dear. Panic over, I'm on Shields Road. So I know roughly where I'm going from here. I'm going to be passing the underground station. Ooh, about 21 minutes according to the signs to the city centre. I'm still on course for 4:30 at Central. I did notice when I was doing vlogs in 2021-2020 that abbeys and churches were becoming more of a popular stint for those sort of historical sites. So I didn't disappoint this year. I ended up going to 4 locations overall for the vlogs this year. 3 of them were recorded last year, 1 of them was recorded this year. So we have coming up compilation of Elgin Cathedral, Restenneth Priory, Beauly Priory and Ardchattan Priory. The church lies at the heart of the old Pictish kingdom and little is known of its early history. Some writers have suggested that the oldest part, the base of the tower, was built about AD 710, after Nectan, king of the Picts, had asked Abbot Ceolfrith of Monk Wearmouth, County Durham, to send masons who could build in the Roman manner. In doing this, Nectan was trying to show the supremacy of the Roman over the Irish Church. It's now thought unlikely, however, that there is anything in the structure earlier than about 1100. So this is the choir, where all the canons would sit. Quite stunning, actually. And you've got the fireplaces and vestibules where they would worship. There's a couple of gravestones here, memorials to people. I don't know whether it's just a memorial. The hunters of Restenneth, Burnside, DOD from the 16th century onwards. I mean, people do want to be buried in these sites, and it's lovely when they do. But there's the tower, pretty well intact. The new priory housed a small community of Augustinian canons, priests who lived in a monastic life. In 1305, the Abbot of Jedburgh declared that the priory had always been destroyed in the early stages of the Wars of Independence of England. David I may have planned to establish a monastery here, but it was his grandson Malcolm IV who accomplished it. There's amazing carvings in this lot though. It's justifiable that they've got a big display of them. Look at this. Some of these carvings up there were done yesterday. They've really been well protected when places went into the roof collapsed and that. And they've done a faithful copy of one of what it would look like in colour. If you look at the two together, that's not a bad little copy. You see what it was like. There's all the buttresses there through the main nave to the top. You can really see the outline here. And you've got the Tagnell chapter house down the bottom, which we'll look at later. But the architecture is lovely. So you can see something this time. That's better. In there is the tomb of Kenneth Smith Mackenzie, the 6th Baronet. Baron to Beauly, maybe? There's other tombs in there, but that's the most prominent. South Chapel. A bit more modern. Probably an addendum added on to the priory as a tomb for royalty or nobility in the area. Kenzie family. Yeah, it looks Victorian Gothic. Nowhere near as impressive as the rest of the building in some respects. They've kept it fairly similar, but it's definitely newer. So this is how big the tree in the back of my garden could get after 250 odd years. It's a sycamore, like the one in the front back garden of my home. The family home. That we planted 40 years ago, and it's quite tall. Makes me think potentially the sycamore isn't going to be much taller in my garden, but it'll branch out, get thick as time goes on. It's now the tree of the year in 2017. Ardchattan Priory. The Valley Scullions. Duncan McDougall, creator of Dunstaffenish, created this chapel. And we'll go have a look at some of the stonework in a minute, and already it looks stunning. And that one definitely looks like it's older than the others, with the picturesque carvings, the Celtic carvings. That was a bit worn out, don't know what that one is. That's nice. A bit more modern. And then we've got one that looks very medieval. One of the bishops or monks. I'll probably save the most popular video this year till last. Probably is, but the time of recording it might have been something else, but it's most likely going to be this. Spiny Palace near Elgin. It's special for two reasons. One, I'd never been there before, and it helped partly fulfill the New Year's resolution. And also, it's also the first time in about 4 years I've included the reenactment sphere of my life. This is the first full year with the Historic Saltire Society as part of groups and doing gigs. This is the first event we did, and it was an opportunity for me to go around all the different guilds and get some conversations going about what they do. There's interesting guilds there. We had the Fabric Guild, and we had the Fabrication Guild, which is what the clip's about. We had the Armoury, we had the food, we had the archery and the heraldry and the calligraphy. So there's all these different groups that are available in the vlog. If you want to see that, it's down below like all the others. But here is probably the most fun one, the Fabrication Guild.
Welcome, good man, to the blacksmithy forge, where we are overseeing 3 brand new apprentices. Our master smith is having a good well-deserved seat, while I, the journeyman, are here at the front to keep an eye on the wares and make sure that they go to a good home. So, if you look down here, we have various levels of completion. We have a completed falchion, created by one Louisa Barnett. And here we have an in-progress sister dagger. Same design. Once it's completed, it will just be a smaller version of our falchion. We also have a fine selection of axes and armour as well. If you're not sure, we've got a kettle. This is a kettle helm. We can make these very easily, nicely. But we're not just doing weapons, because we do a bit of everything. We also have kitchenware. Fine spring steel hardened cleaver for chopping all of your finest meats. Once it's done, it will go straight through a pig in one swoop. And also utility knives as well. If you need to do any whittling or just general stabbing in general, you've got. And we also have eatingware as well. We have one knife and fork here of our Master Smith's personal equipment he has kindly donated for us to show.
And then you've got staple. We've got a staple there, haven't you?
Staple, yes. So this is a wood staple. What we're going to do is we've been handed this table leg to repair. As you can see, it is split quite aggressively across the wood here. So we're going to make 2 of these for each leg. These are just going to go in here and create a temporary fix for our table legs. So our kitchen can have more surface area to put food on.
Yes.
Best I can say at the moment is
So this is a different kind of staple. We have a masonry staple. You find these in the walls of older castles.
For stonework.
Yep. This is how they keep the stones from wobbling around and falling apart. And we go right down to basics. The first thing our apprentices would ever make.
Nails, which is what they're doing at the moment.
Currently they're making more staples. Same progress as a nail. All we're doing is just making it double-ended rather than flattening it off on the end.
Yeah.
We would usually have our apprentices making these one after the other, possibly for a year or 2. And eventually we get to the point of making one every 15-10 minutes. The point of that is that we can keep making them over and over again. We get better at making them. They work faster. It also means that we're getting nails put out to the carpenters.
Yeah.
It means that we're getting a trade out of training the people.
Sorry.
you good? That's all you wanted? Here, do this. Do this. Bend it on the side so you get a more straight line. And when you come back to do the other side of it, drop the bent bit down the hole there and bend it over.
That's all the reviews for 2022's vlogs. If you want to see them all in full, there is a playlist down below and there's also a playlist up there, so please by all means go and have a look at that. Thank you for watching the vlogs this year, thanks for your input, and thanks for all the help that everybody's had. It's really, really nice to have that, and I think it's really cool to keep going the vlogs, and the fact I've got 100 vlogs coming up this year is really humbling. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it, the hashtag teamstructor. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like the channel as a whole, and hit that notifications bell so you know when a new video comes out. If you want to help support the channel and help me go out and vlog, you can go to the Patreon at patreon.com/deanstructor. All you need to do is it's as little as £1 or even $1 a month, and you can go into one of 3 tiers. So you got level 1 teamstructor, you get a name check at the end of the video. Level 2 teamstructor, you get videos from that are going to be released on the channel at least a week in advance. And level 3, you get extra videos, including the extended cut of Frosty the Snowman, which we did for Kidstructor last week, and also 3 other Kidstructors that we've done in the past. One of them is never going to be shown on YouTube, which is the X-rated Rainbow. But apart from that, thanks guys for watching as always. As I say, Happy New Year. I am back next Sunday with the live stream, the Streamstructor. Hopefully I'll see you then. But until then guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you later.